Read it. Cast a spell. Read it! Elphaba. Don't!
Anyone who has watched Wicked knows that Elphaba is set up to fail. Throughout the film, she tries to do everything right and even abandons her feud with Glinda when she decides her roommate deserves a second chance. She's determined to become a witch that someone like the wizard would admire, and she takes the safety of the Ozian animals seriously. All in all, there's nothing about her character that points to her becoming a wicked witch. That's not to say she wouldn't be without reason, as Elphaba faced cruelty and ridicule at every turn. There are several people in her life that could have contributed to Elphaba becoming a villain had she not managed to persevere. Once she is deemed an enemy of Oz, there is nothing to keep Elphaba from feeding into allegations. If she ever needs to act truly wicked, there are plenty of people and experiences she could take inspiration from. In today's video, I'll discuss the people who have turned Elphaba into the Wicked Witch.
Father, she's on her own. Just stop jabbering. Just do what I say.
Number 1. Her parents. Before Elphaba is born, her mother has an affair with a mysterious stranger. The audience is clued into the man's identity from his voice, an exact match to the wizard's, and the green elixir he brings to each of their meetings. Assumedly consuming this elixir led to Elphaba's green skin when she was born, a development that horrified her parents. Instead of trying to understand their daughter, they send her away. She is then raised by her nanny, a bear that is much kinder and understanding than anyone else on the staff. To prevent their next child from becoming green, Elphaba's mother consumes the plant milkweed during her pregnancy. The milkweed has dire consequences, including the death of her mother and premature birth of her sister. Elphaba tells Glinda that her father blames her for these unfortunate circumstances, as her complexion is the reason he forced her mother to eat milkweed in the process. The blame is misplaced, of course, but there's clear strain between Governor Throp and his eldest daughter. The governor cares little for Elphaba, often blaming her when something goes awry. He also has a clear favoritism toward Nessa Rose, as he prioritizes her well-being and gifts her with beautiful silver slippers before they part ways at Shiz. It's likely that the governor never showed Elphaba love, kindness, or pride toward her accomplishments. Her cruel childhood certainly shaped how Elphaba interacts with the rest of the world.
What have you done this time? Okay, that's okay, come to Daddy. And now you've made your sister cry.
Number 2. Nessa Rose. Elphaba has a much better relationship with Nessa Rose compared to their parents. The film includes a new scene from their childhood, where Elphaba shows her sister a book about the wizard before they're interrupted by a group of local children. When the children begin bullying Elphaba, their cruel words send Nessa into a crying fit. In an attempt to protect and comfort Nessa, Elphaba lashes out at her bullies with her magic. The scene encompasses their dynamic overall, as the sisters genuinely care for one another. As Nessa can overlook Elphaba's appearance, Elphaba seems to be the only one who knows Nessa beyond her wheelchair. When she's made to remain at Shiz to ensure her sister settles in, Elphaba's magic sows chaos after the welcoming ceremony, when a staff member refuses to let Nessa navigate the school herself. The magical outburst embarrasses Nessa and is the first indication that she may dislike being known as the girl with a green sister. She implies that Elphaba's actions have ruined her shot at starting a new life, meaning that Nessa wanted her experiences at Shiz to be unconnected to her childhood in Munchkinland. The sisters' relationship becomes strained when Elphaba arrives at the Ozdust Ballroom, wearing the hat gifted to her by Glinda. Elphaba's appearance makes her the joke of the evening, but she takes the bullying in stride and begins to dance among her peers. The other students at the ballroom continue to ridicule Elphaba while Nessa watches on the sidelines. While she could have intervened to help her sister, she chooses to protect her reputation instead. It becomes clear at this moment that Elphaba can't depend on her family when she's in need, including her closest relative. Later, when Elphaba will return to her childhood home seeking refuge, Nessa will try to turn her away. She will disown Elphaba for several reasons, denouncing her sister as a fugitive for not helping her walk and for being the cause of their father's sudden death. Nessa's unwillingness means Elphaba will have no one to turn to and will have to continue evading the wizard's forces. Number 3. Glinda. Elphaba had gone her entire life receiving backhanded comments, so she doesn't hesitate to shut down Glinda's half-hearted attempts at seeming like a hero. When the pair first meet at Shiz, Glinda offers to use her future knowledge as a witch to help change Elphaba's complexion, and Elphaba outs her in front of everyone for making empty promises. The interaction is the beginning of their rivalry as the pair become reluctant roommates later on. It's clear that each woman represents what the other hates, and there's an entire song dedicated to how much they loathe one another. Glinda's opinion of Elphaba is also shaped by her relationship with Madame Morrible. She can't help feeling jealous of her roommate, as all she wants is to become a well-known and beloved witch. Unfortunately, Madame Morrible, the leading sorceress at Shiz, refuses to let Glinda into her program in favor of personally tutoring Elphaba. Their rivalry with one another reaches its peak when Glinda purposely gives Elphaba an ugly hat to wear on their night out. Glinda eventually realizes the error of her ways and steps up to dance with Elphaba, elevating her popularity status overnight. The former rivals become steadfast friends, and when Elphaba receives an invite to the Emerald City, Glinda is the only one she wants by her side. All seems well until Elphaba realizes that the wizard is nothing but a con artist determined to hurt the animals of Oz. Glinda chooses to stay behind and become someone for the people of Oz to admire, even though doing so requires her to condemn Elphaba as the Wicked Witch. Glinda is beloved by everyone in Oz, so they value her word. It's likely that she becomes one of the loudest voices against the Wicked Witch, ultimately adding to the pain and suffering inflicted on her former friend.
Well, because everyone will be there. And don't tell me you have nothing to wear. Because you could wear this.
Number 4. Madame Morrible. When Elphaba has a magical outburst at Shiz, she is saved from her social blunder by the school's headmistress, Madame Morrible. As the lead instructor for Shiz's sorcery program, Morrible takes credit for the magic and claims it was to show everyone what they have to look forward to throughout the school year. It's worth mentioning that Madame Morrible is the only character in the film who can compete with Elphaba when it comes to natural talent. She single-handedly teaches Elphaba how to use her magic and hone her emotions, which is the root of her power. She also specializes in controlling the weather, which is shown when she breaks apart storm clouds to keep Elphaba from getting wet. Although Elphaba views Madame Morrible as a trusted mentor, it's later revealed that she was training Elphaba to read from the Grimoire. As an accomplice to the wizard, Madame Morrible supports his plans to amass more power and remove talking animals from Oz. Once she's outed as his ally, it becomes clear how manipulative and conniving she really is. I can't imagine how Elphaba felt when learning that the first person to show her kindness was using her from the start.
We're doing this to keep people safe. All of us will benefit. And you've known all along.
Number 5. The Wizard. The wizard's aesthetic revolves around the color green, so it's no surprise that Elphaba learned to idolize him from a young age. Like everyone in Oz, she believed the wizard to be a benevolent ruler who could look beyond appearances. As someone who lives in a city adorned in emerald and with supposed magical abilities, the wizard becomes Elphaba's one-way ticket to a better life. Her effort at Shiz and her private lessons with Madame Morrible are all to earn a meeting with the wizard, but he's not like she imagined. After using the Grimoire to create flying monkeys, Elphaba realizes that the wizard is a magicless con artist who used tricks and puppetry to gain power in Oz. He's incapable of granting her wish to save the animals of Oz. More importantly, he's the reason they started disappearing in the first place. It's only natural that Elphaba would turn against her idol and refuse to help him moving forward. Unfortunately, he doesn't take kindly to traitors. When he convinces everyone in Oz that Elphaba is a dangerous thief, he forces a life as the Wicked Witch upon her.
You have no real power.
Exactly. That's why I need you.
It goes without saying that Elphaba doesn't deserve the cards she's dealt. She's so far removed from classic antagonists that her narrative feels incredibly tragic. For whatever reason, the people of Oz frown upon anyone and anything that's different from the social norm. It's a battle as old as time, but all Elphaba can do is hold her head high in the face of adversity. She doesn't deserve her life as the Wicked Witch, and she has selected people from her life to blame. If they had treated her better or shown her support, then her story would have had a different ending. At least that's my 2 cents.
Elphaba! You want to do yourself some good? Give some back.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.